Sonia looked at the naked and half-naked girls and boys and said, "Becky, it's me, Sonia. You came with your mother to sell yourself. You remember me? Tony bought us." Becky answer. "We came to take you with us." Suddenly, a naked girl who was next to the boy and on the sofa looked at her and tears gathered in her eyes and started crying. Sonia also said in a crying manner, "My God. Becky, I didn't recognize you at all. What happened to you?" Sonia looked at Joel and Tess, and as soon as they gave her permission, she ran towards her. Quickly took off her coat and threw it over Becky's body. The boy wanted to make a move, but when he saw the handgun pointed at him, he stopped. Becky and Sonia hugged each other and started crying. After a while, Abraham's wife joined them and looked at the armed men in his house in amazement. Abraham turned to him and said, "They came to buy the girl you bought. They will give you $150,000 for her." The woman said, "But she is for my son, the decision is his." Mary nodded and said, "Okay." He went to the boy and said, "Master, we have come to buy this girl from you with a sweet tongue and $150,000. Please make your decision. We will not leave without this girl. Are you willing to sell us this animal? 50 is not a small amount of money." Joel noticed the look on the slave girl and boys in the room, who wanted to take them with their eyes full of begging. He stole his gaze from them. They had only come for Becky. Tess shouted, "Hurry up and decide. If you have any sense in that skull of yours, you will give that girl and take the 150. The boy let go of the collar chain and said, "Okay, for you, but you took her by force." Joel turned to Abraham and said, "Get a piece of paper, a pen and a stamp. You have to write and sign it." He left and returned after a while. Joel turned to the boy and said, "Write your name and surname and that you sold Becky for $150,000 and received the money in cash. Sign and put your fingerprint under it." The boy carried out his order and gave the sales slip to Joel. He looked at the slip and said, "Did you write your real name? Give me some proof that this name and surname are correct. Birth certificate, ID card, passport." When he gave them to Joel, he also opened the bag, counted the money and handed it to him. Tess turned to Sonia and said, "Bring her with you. Button up the front of her dress." Then she turned to the boy and continued, "Forget about me forever. I'll put a bullet in your forehead if I see you again." They left the house. Becky was still crying. Joel turned to Mary and said, "Thank you for coming to help. I think this girl needs a doctor and rest and a bath. Harry will be very happy. God willing, we can get this girl back on her feet by the time they get back." Mary said, "Yeah, we'd better go." They turned back towards the camp, and then they all came to my office. With my permission they entered. I glanced at them all, especially the girl standing next to Sonia. Mary said, "Boss, we found Becky. She was sold as a pet and she's no longer a girl." I looked at Becky's pale, sad face, wet with tears. I said, "Your cartoon was very good. Ellie will be very happy. She is still fine. She is alive and looks healthy. However, take her to the hospital. I want her to not have that pale complexion again by the time Ellie returns. It was necessary to restore her to her girlhood with surgery. Now take her, Mary, you stay." Joel and Tess went out with Sonia and Becky and the guards. I said, "Lift up your clothes. I want to see your back." She carried out my order. The marks of the whipping were still on her back. I said, "That's enough." While she was tidying up her clothes, I continued, "I was badly hurt in that incident. But it's over. And you have been punished too. I want to go with Derek Barry in the cleanup operation. I want a clean and error-free job." All those people and everyone in their family who is on the list, they all have to die. I'll give you another chance. Eli came back and accepted you. As his bodyguard, you're by his side. Thank you. Boss. I'm sorry about that too. I should have been more careful. I hope your daughter accepts me. If you let me, Becky's mother will come and see her one last time, and then I'll be lost forever. Because if Miss Eli finds out what happened to this girl, she might not let her live. Okay. Mary left my office.